This series is messing up with pretty much every moral that I have embedded into my body, and I don't know how to deal with myself right now. Hey friends, it's akidearest, and this video is a very long-awaited review for Killing Stalking. For those of you that have not read it, you are going to be very confused because we are so far into the chapters that I don't know why you're watching this anyway, but that's all on you if you decide to continue. If you guys are interested in Killing Stalking and my other reviews, here's the playlist. The link will be in the description below. It is all in chronological order if you guys want to follow me and catch up. If not, I don't know why you're here. But anyways, we're just going to get right into it because I have a shit ton to unpack, because right now I don't know how to live with myself because I can't choose a side. I really cannot choose a side of any character in this story. And we're about to hit the finale of Killing Stalking, by the way. So just recapping what happened in the last video 3 months ago, you guys saw me absolutely go off yelling how messed up Sangwoo's past revealed to us. The fact that his mother raped him. I know that YouTube's probably going to hit me for even saying that word, but that's just blatantly what happened. It's insane to think that the whole time throughout his past that we thought that Sangwoo's mother was like this guardian angel, his sanctuary, the one person that gave any meaning to his life, and then Koogi decides to write up, nah, I'm gonna rip the angel wings off. This is the real bitch that we're dealing with. So now it makes perfect sense of why Sangwoo is the way he is though. So after Sangwoo's mother did what she did to Sangwoo, this both traumatized him and ruined him as a person, because as we saw throughout the series, we saw constant flashbacks that make the relationship between him and his mother very complicated. Kind of sinking in with the chapters after that, it's revealed that Sangwoo did kill his mother, but yeah, no, Sangwoo is attached to Yunbum because he is the spitting image of his mother. It doesn't matter that he is a guy, it wouldn't have mattered if he was a girl, because Sangwoo's entire life and his situation is so complicated that it really doesn't matter what gender Yunbum was. And I can't remember if in the past if I said that I consider this as a boys love, but where I stand now, I don't consider Killing Stalking as entirely a boys love genre. If we have to make it quick and easy, then yeah, I guess I would throw it in there, but if you guys actually read the story, it's more suspense and psychological horror than anything. But you know, with shippers and everything, it does make it seem like it's otherwise. So with the chapters after that, I'm going to try my very best to blast through them. Sangwoo called Yunbum mom at the dinner table, quality time together, and Yunbum just has this face of like, the fuck you just called me? Afterwards, Yunbum becomes very distant from Sangwoo. Sangwoo's embarrassed and paranoid that Yunbum might leave him and possibly even tell others that he called him mom. I'm sure everyone here has felt that embarrassing moment in their life where they accidentally called either their teacher or their friend mom or dad, and that sucks. That sucks when you do that, let alone doing it with your captive. That's only just adding sprinkles on this really messed up Sunday just coated in mental disorders. And of course, Sangwoo's coming to terms with everything. The connection between the two is very awkward. Sangwoo then tries to grab Yunbum's attention, and then Yunbum just pushes him away. After Yunbum takes time to himself, he eventually comes back to comfort Sangwoo. And throughout the remaining of the chapters, Sangwoo for some reason becomes more terrified of how he's going to die. Because after Yunbum came back after thinking to himself, Sangwoo then starts to ask this big question: how do you kill somebody without killing them? At first that question seems really vague, but then afterwards, well, the answer soon unraveled itself. You guys probably remember in the previous chapters that Sangwoo had this vision of his mother telling him that at one point he will die the most painful death. And ever since that vision, Sangwoo has been more paranoid than ever. He's having more flashbacks as each day goes by. I even feel like he's probably gotten a little bit more bipolar since then, and he's having intense mood swings with Yunbum. And then there's that scene where one day Yunbum just comes down to the basement to check up on Sangwoo, and for whatever reason, Sangwoo just absolutely fucking loses it and chokes Yunbum, thinking that it's his mom, just saying that it's all of her fault. It's her fault that Sangwoo is the way he is, and eventually he just yells, "You killed me," which answers, you know, that big question that he had earlier: how do you kill someone without killing them? Which is actually a question that the mom asked Sangwoo before she raped him. So Sangwoo has come to terms with the infuriating truth that his mother killed him. Maybe not physically, but just him as a person. He'll never go back to the way that he was. She's essentially destroyed his mind forever. The day that Sangwoo killed her was also the day that she killed him in return. Sangwoo's mother betrayed his trust in her, resulting in the murder by his hand. I'm just so sickened by the betrayal of the mother and the heavy burden that she had to place on Sangwoo. Beyond that, I'm also just absolutely disgusted by the husband, who is implied to have heavily abused her behind Sangwoo's back. So Sangwoo's basically just been brought up by a family who was incredibly unstable to support each other and themselves, and through the abusive marriage did they create a monster that was Sangwoo, who inflicts what's done onto him onto Yoonbum and a few other victims that he's had in the past. During all of this, Yoonbum's probably just thinking, just another day with my bae. Anyway, so Sangwoo calms down a bit and then drops another harsh comment on Yoonbum, as always, saying that maybe it would have been better to just kill him when he killed Minjun, the girl from around chapter 15. Then Chief Kwak comes over to meet Sangwoo in regards to the missing girl Minjun. Note that Kwak hasn't seen or heard from Sangwoo since the incident at the police station, but he figured to stop by and ask questions. As I was reading this scene, I knew that this was the last that we were going to see of the chief, because I was so paranoid and worried for the chief just being in the same room as Sangwoo. And so as the chief and Sangwoo are having the conversation underneath the kitchen table on the floor, Chief Kwak notices a fake fingernail, which matches the description almost perfectly with the victim that he's looking for, Minjun from chapter 15. But he can't just grab it right then and there because Sangwoo is going to notice it, so he waits for Sangwoo to just not look in his direction, and with his foot he tries to subtly just try and grab it across the floor and put it into his hand, and when he observes it, he confirms that it is a fake fingernail of the victim he's looking for, which points to the fact that Sangwoo knows something and is most likely involved in the murder of this girl. Now with the evidence literally in his hand, Chief Kwak then tries as fast as possible to wrap up the conversation. That way he can go back to the police station and examine the nail further. But unfortunately, Sangwoo catches Kwak's failure to be discreet about his finding of the nail and murders him. And that was the last we saw of Chief Kwak. Dun dun dun! No, but that was pretty fucked up. I know it was really anticlimactic the way that I put it, but I swear the moment that I read that, even though I saw it from a mile away, I remember I gasped when he fucking stabbed him. After Sangwoo murders the chief, we're then brought up to Detective Seungbae, which we haven't seen in a while. Another detective calls him to tell him that Chief Kwak has been murdered, which brings the Sangwoo case back to light, and he goes out to find him. Seungbae then sneaks into Sangwoo's house to maybe find some sort of evidence to pin on Sangwoo once and for all. And in the kitchen, he finds Yoonbum tied up, which Sangwoo did to bait in the detective and knock him out with a baseball bat. Now at this point, we know that Seungbae has really been the only detective that really knew that Sangwoo was the culprit behind all those missing victims. He was the one who honestly could have brought justice to everyone he murdered. So if Seungbae dies, there's really near to no chance that Sangwoo will ever get caught by the police. Because throughout the series, Sangwoo has literally dodged almost every single ruthless interrogation by the police, and he is about to kill the one and only person who can stop him. For whatever reason, Sangwoo then decides to pour boiling water onto Seungbae's face, which, ouch. And yet, from what I can see in the scenes, the detective took it surprisingly well. I know he was just knocked out with a bat, but I would have at least grabbed my face or something. So, guys got high pain tolerance, yay! Then as Sangwoo has a knife pointing to the detective's back, Yoonbum pulls him away, in which afterwards Seungbae then pulls out a recording that proves that Sangwoo killed the chief. I still have no idea why he decided to just drop it on the ground wanting to destroy it. Maybe it was him saying that he's just done with it all and how he wants to kill Sangwoo no matter what it brings him. But then afterwards, this huge fight scene between Sangwoo and the detective breaks out. Seungbae's got Sangwoo in a chokehold and yells at Yoonbum to stab him. Yoonbum's mentality is at war right now with what to do. He grabs the knife and can't bring himself to kill Sangwoo, and then he breaks out in tears and Sangwoo grabs the knife to try and kill Yoonbum. Now, if this were the finale, I would think that with Sangwoo's back turned away from the detective, that he would have been killed by Seungbae, and Seungbae would have took Yoonbum and the recording that he dropped on the ground, been able to present that to the police department and save himself from being jailed. In fact, probably being hired again and always being honored as a hero. But this is killing Stalking we're talking about, so Well, no, it didn't end up that way. But instead, as Sangwoo is about to kill Yoonbum, Seungbae does throw a bag over Sangwoo's face, urging Yoonbum to escape, which he does, but Yoonbum doesn't fully escape. He just waits outside waiting to see who's gonna make it out. And as Sangwoo is about to throw the final blow to Seungbae, the detective grabs a lighter given by Chief Kwak and throws it into what I assume is a stove or something else, letting off gas, which causes a huge explosion in the apartment, with Seungbae dragging himself out of the fire. Now Yoonbum looks completely in shock in what he's witnessing and then sees Seungbae, who's made it out alive. He only quickly glances at the detective and back up at the apartment, where it only concludes that Sangwoo is still in the fire. Yoonbum is mortified that he's probably lost him, which as a viewer of the story, I'm conflicted to how I feel about this. Now, if this situation ended up on the news, of course, right off the bat, I would say this is great. He is no longer captive. He's no longer being manipulated by Sangwoo, and the police force can just take care of him, place him somewhere where he can start a new beginning. But this is killing Stalking, and the audience, well, since this is fiction, we've developed some sort of weird connection and a fucked up sense of sympathy for Sangwoo and Yoonbum wanting to be together. Sangwoo then desperately is dragging himself across the floor to get out of the fire and grows weak, and as he struggles to reach for the door to escape, he hears a distant sound of what I assume is most likely his mother calling out to him, where he remembers his vision of her telling him that he will die the most painful death ever. From here, the chapter is followed up by a note from Koogi stating that the finale of Killing Stalking will be brought out in longer chapters and in what I can guess is the final hiatus. I need water after that. That was a lot to unpack. And with as much as we have unpacked, and with Koogi now stating that this is the finale, I do have a big feeling that maybe Sangwoo will die. I don't think he's gonna die in this fire though, considering she did say that the chapters for the finale are gonna be longer than they have been. Now, if this were a good ending, I would like to think that Seungbae in some way, shape, or form is going to bring justice. However, when I was reading this, I have a feeling that maybe there is this one path that I hope it doesn't, because I'm gonna be so sad for Detective Seungbae. I don't know with Koogi's writing if this is gonna happen, but think about this. The only reason this apartment caught on fire was because Seungbae reached into his pocket and threw a lighter that was given by Chief Kwak, and there are a few detectives that know that he has that lighter. So we have an apartment on fire. What happens when, you know, things like that happen? The fire department and the police come, right? And what happens when the fire department and police come? They're gonna investigate. So someone's gonna notice this, call the police up, and they're gonna see what will probably be this lighter, because it looks like it's made of metal, and it's possible that that's gonna stay there. And he's probably burned all of the other evidence that could have led up to Sangwoo being the culprit. So looking at this, I feel like maybe the police will just pin it on Detective Seungbae in an attempted murder, that he purposely just tried to kill Sangwoo and Yoonbum by blowing up the whole place, unless Yoonbum says otherwise. But from the interrogation from last time, Yoonbum didn't say shit, so I really hope it doesn't go down that route, and that Seungbae will just get a bad ending and no one will believe him, and then Sangwoo and Yoonbum will be able to live miserably ever after, if we want to be a little bit more accurate with it. When I thought of that possibility, I was like, I really hope it doesn't. It's not 100%. That's just a theory. But it's valid, and I hate that it's valid. Another path, let's just assume that Sangwoo dies and Seungbae brings justice to all victims, grabs Yoonbum, and Yoonbum can start a new life. I mean, that's great and all, but I feel like we won't really have much of Yoonbum left, because, I mean, looking at his past, he truly was a victim in life. Everyone around him, there was no love on the table for him. There was nothing good in the cards for him in the first place. And Sangwoo was really the only time he even really felt any sense of compassion, but in a really fucked up way. So without Sangwoo and everything that he's put Yoonbum through, I feel like Yoonbum just won't be able to handle it. And in the sense, I feel he will still be uncertain of how he feels, because it's like he's free now, nobody's gonna harm him, but will he really be able to live normally after everything he's been through? So it's like, it almost seems kind of in vain, but not for the victims and their families, like, but Yoonbum, what's really gonna be left of him after Songwoo? He's been proven in the past that he's definitely not mentally as strong as he'd like to be. He does self-harm whenever he feels loneliness, and you know, for very understandable reasons from his upbringing. But I mean, if we save Yoonbum, like it's probably gonna be a pretty sad ending. It'd be pretty weird if we saw a complete 180 and Disney just takes over and it's like everyone's happy now. So where this is going, I just feel Yoonbum, no matter what, will have to suffer really unfairly. But my god, is this such a good freaking comment. Yeah, just let me know in the comment section below of what you guys think so far. What do you guys expect from the finale? If you guys have your own theories about what's going on, feel free to share them, because I can't decide whose side I'm on right now. It's like, the right thing to do blatantly is to separate Songwoo and Yoonbum. Well, let me reword that. To separate Songwoo from everybody. That would be the right thing to do. But there's also the fact this is killing Stalking and this is a fictional story. So it's like Yoonbum and Songwoo are oddly a good match for some reason, and it's like you kind of want Yoonbum to be happier, but it seems like the only way he can be happy is if he's with Songwoo. But I'll just end it there, because my morals are messed up right now. Is anyone else's, or is it just me? I don't know anymore! So we are on what I'll probably assume is our last hiatus until the finale chapters of whenever they come out. I will definitely try to keep as updated as possible on Killing Stalking for the big final reveal. I'll probably put out more frequent videos when that happens, because I don't know how long these chapters are gonna be, but I definitely want to like kind of build this up with you guys as we all read this together. Yeah, feel free to go read Killing Stalking if you haven't already. If you've made it to this point in the video, I assume you're incredibly confused at everything that I've just said. Just, you know, keep updated. Definitely keep updated with this story, because I'm very, very keen to see where all of this will tie in together. So I appreciate you guys for watching, and subscribe to my channel for more anime and otaku related content, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!